Hello and welcome to another fountain pen video. This time we are going to be discussing the Pilot vanishing point. And I apologize in advance for all of the clicking that may occur during the duration of this video. It's just very satisfying. So this is a retractable fountain pen. To my knowledge, it's the very first retractable fountain pen that ever came on the market. This has been around for a very long time now. There are other retractable fountain pens like the Platinum Curados, I believe, which came out maybe 2 years ago. I can't remember, but it's out. I don't think it's nearly as classy as the Vanishing Point though. This is my second Vanishing Point. My first one I sold a couple of years ago. I actually, at the time, did not appreciate the convenience of this fountain pen. I wanted the ceremony and the slower pace of a more traditional fountain pen. I wanted to unscrew the cap. That's like the first time I've ever cussed in a video. And it was an accident. I wanted to take a slower pace, in a more deliberate and intentional pace when I wrote with a fountain pen. And so I sold the Vanishing Point. Now I actually really appreciate the convenience of it, and it doesn't bother me that it is a less traditional fountain pen. So the knock on the back is very long. It has a wonderful, there's just the right amount of resistance where it's not too hard. I could actually push it down with my pinky finger or really any finger. It's just, but there's enough resistance to let you know that you are creating some sort of action, and then a wonderful spring at the end and a very deep and resonant click. It's a very tactile pen, and if you are maybe someone that likes to click and fidget, this could be a great pen for you, although you might annoy the heck out of anyone nearby. So let's take a closer look, do some writing samples, and I will share with you some more of my thoughts. All right, there's a couple things that I want to talk about. First of all, I apologize for this kind of foggy image. My camera lens broke, oh gosh, back in March, and it definitely has impacted the way I've been able to film, but I'm hoping that next month or in November I'll be able to get a new camera. It's my phone, basically. I'll be able to get a new phone, and then the images will be nice and crisp and clear again. So bear with me, and I apologize. Also, I have here my Pilot pen collection, which I don't know if I've ever shared before in its entirety. I have talked a whole heck of a lot about this Pilot Custom 823. It has been one of my absolute all-time favorite pens and continues to be one of my absolute all-time favorite pens. But I also have 3 other fountain pens from Pilot that I may have never shared. This is, well, actually 2 of them are vintage from the 80s. They are both Pilot Elites, but we have a pocket size and a large size. And then we have the contemporary version of this pocket pen. All of these have that really interesting kind of semi-hooded nib. And they also do not have a threaded cap. So these little pocket pens are made to be the same length as a normal pen when posted, but as you can see, the actual pen itself, the body is super tiny. So anyways, we don't need to go into great detail. I just wanted to kind of share those little pens because I don't think I ever have before. They're quite charming. All right, so that is the lineup of some of the Pilot pens that I have. And actually, let's put the Vanishing Point clip up, which is a little bit counterintuitive because I think we're all so used to having the clip on the cap, but this Vanishing Point doesn't have a cap because it doesn't need a cap. I also just wanted to compare it next to the TWSBI Diamond. So this Vanishing Point is actually pretty hefty. It's it's a substantially sized pen. They have a slimmer version as well. I'm forgetting right now what it's called, but I'll link it down below in the description. That's a little bit more slight and gracile, whereas this one has a bit more heft. I personally prefer that in my fountain pens, so that's why I went with this standard Vanishing point. I have it inked up with the Pilot Blue ink, which is very similar to the Tatcha Ruri ink, but a little bit more, well, a lot bit more diluted, in fact. You can just about see that little door on the inside that closes up when the nib retracts. Before we do a writing sample, I want to share with you the innards. So this nib unit is it's a fairly large nib unit, and then the converter sits deep inside this section here. Now, the thing that I don't like about that is it's really difficult to tell what your ink levels are once your ink gets past this metal part. It's kind of hidden. The other thing that I don't like is the converter that it comes with. This is the one with the agitator beads in it, and I can never get a full fill. There are tricks and tips out there to kind of share how to do that, but I don't feel like fussing about that much when I fill up the fountain pen, to be honest. So I have just never done them, and I simply accept that I do not get a full fill. This is a fine nib. I believe they come with the 14 karat, and again, Pilot Blue ink. This is actually a very nice nib to write with. It's smooth, it has a little bit of feedback. It's very consistent. It stays writing. It has a nice spring to it. I don't know if you can see that. And when I say spring, I mean it is different than what am I trying to say? Spring is different than flex. Wow, that took me a long time to think about it. The great news is, while I was thinking, I left this nib out and retracted, and it did not skip a beat. Man, Pilot does such a good job. For a long time now, Pilot has been one of my favorite fountain pen companies. I can't talk and write at the same time, apparently. You can write this with this pen at a very severe angle too. It just works really well. It's such a nicely tuned nib, and for something so tiny, it kind of amazes me. It has a nice amount of flow. I can move really fast, and it doesn't skip a beat. And the only reason why that line skipped there was because I actually lifted it up off of the paper. It does have some weight in the front section of the pen. I don't mind that. I feel like it makes writing a little bit easier because it kind of just lands on the paper and you don't have to push at all. You can write with a very light hand. So in conclusion, I am a huge fan of Pilot, period. and a very big fan of this vanishing point as well. And if you're looking for a high quality, well-writing, consistent, reliable workhorse of a pen that is also extremely convenient, then the Pilot Vanishing Point might be the one for you. So thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you all in another video. Bye.